Hey, everybody, we're live on the air. This is the Centercourt weekly show with Chad Andrews of Mr. Centercourt, basketball aficionado. You're well known in these parts. I'm not so much. My name is Frank Wolf. I'm the co-host of this show from WNY Athletics. Tim Gardner's producing and doing camera work and a bunch of other stuff behind the scenes. Thank you very much, Tim, for your dedication to this show. Chad, thank you for your dedication to boys high school basketball. It's unparalleled coverage. Anybody else there trying to do what you do is just, they're just, you're understudy. They're learning from you.
Perpendicular.
You have been around since, is it 2011 or what's the
2008. It's year 19 of coverage.
Year 19 he's been covering high school boys basketball in the area. 19. Get out of the man's way when you see him come into the gym and you're trying to do what he does. You're not Chad. This is the one and only Chad Andrews, Centercourt. God bless you.
That's quite an intro. Thanks, Frank.
Show's brought to you by Empire Electric, Tony Pulvereni. I invited him into the show today, but he had a busy day, as you can imagine.
Tony?
Yeah. The weather we've had, there's probably a lot of people having some issues with electricity in their homes. I don't encourage you to mess around with the wires there, especially if you have no idea what you're doing or if you've had a few cocktails. Stay away from the wires, seek shelter, and call Tony Pulvereni at Empire Electric. 716-634-0330. Whenever I call Tony or ask Tony for a favor, he is there. He is a 3 a.m. kind of buddy.
Yeah. I think if you called Empire Electric and name-dropped Western York Athletics, a view from Centercourt, we saw your ad, they've said you're the guy to call. He'd take care of you.
He'd send someone right over.
He would.
Flip the switch.
Yeah, we don't plug it shamelessly.
We just don't plug anybody. But thank you very much. I got called out before we get into for the Jamestown football sticker I have on my laptop, which you see on your screen now. I got called out last week.
Let them call you out.
The show.
Who cares?
If a school gives me a sticker, I put it on the laptop.
That's how it works, right? If you want me to have your sticker, give me a sticker.
I
wear whatever hoodie I want to whatever game.
I've had
put
other
the sticker up
there. Chili Billy sent me one. Chili Billy ice cream. Oswego hockey.
People get so sensitive, call you out, think they make the rules for Frank Wolf. Guess what? They don't.
Warhorse Brewery, Banquet Beers, the NFHS Network, Logistics Plus, another great sponsor. Warhorse Brewery, it's over there in the Finger Lakes area. Banquet, Coors Banquet Beer, my favorite. You want to send me a Christmas gift next year, 12-pack of
exactly.
Banquet will do it. So anyways.
We cover high school sports when programs show us a little appreciation and give you a sticker or a T-shirt or a hoodie like I was awarded from Lockport basketball last night. A nice baby blue hoodie from Coach Gilson and
staff. You were there for a big reason. A reason to celebrate. We'll talk a little bit about that as we go on. Tim's laughing. When's the last time you saw Gardner laugh? What are you laughing about?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen him laugh.
Why are you laughing? Is it something you could say on air? Oh, he's going to send it to us.
The dude
was having
watching
a conniption
cartoons
fit half an hour ago because he got a splinter. Or was it a splinter? He couldn't get it out. He finally got it out just seconds before he went live. That's why the show was a little late. Tim was wrestling with a splinter he had.
That's what it was. It was the splinter.
But we're here. Let's get right into this stuff because I got a phone call at 1:30 with Mark Aldnut from UB.
Okay.
That's in 46 minutes. I got to call him.
All right. Might be a couple minutes late, Mark. Apologize. Sorry, Mark. Frank was right on time. 5 cars in the ditch on the way here. 5.
3 people in front of me, Tim Hortons. I had to get this coffee.
I watched a kid take out the stop sign at the end of my road. I'm just leaving my house on the way here. First thing I see is a kid. Can't get his car to stop sliding. No, took out the stop sign, ripped up his front bumper, and then jumps out of his car and tries to stand the sign back up in the snow. I was like...
Sign's heavier than him.
Yeah.
Did you know the kid?
I didn't. He waved to me. He must live on my road. I should probably know him.
Going to get right into random smatterings or not, but check out the View from Centercourt online for the most recent random smatterings.
The View from Centercourt.com has the weekly random smatterings and the weekly rankings.
We're going to get into rankings 20 through 11 just a little bit. Why don't we talk about...
Wait, let me ask real quick. Tim, are you able to pull up my website on the screen instead of showing our face? Can you make the screen show the website?
What's wrong with these faces for radio?
We'll bring them right back. We're going to give Frank a minute on that. Tim a minute on that. Let me know, Tim, when you're ready. I want to click everybody in a direction.
Dispersed last Friday, okay? I can't remember what I did Friday after I left the show. No clue. But I know you went to a couple of different places, schools and what have you. I don't know where you want to begin, but you leave the show last Friday. George Benson texted me immediately with a question I'll ask you later because he wants a free ticket to the Views for the Centercourt Classic coming up in just a couple weeks.
Coming up in 1 week.
It's
one week from today.
It's here, ladies. Ladies and gents. I don't have a date yet for this.
So I left here on Friday, and I went to Curry's.
Of course you did.
And then after Curry's.
Was the potato salad any better this week?
It was good, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to where it should be.
It's nice and warm.
Okay.
Back to warm.
Yeah.
Went to Curry's, ate, and then I went to St. Mary's. That was my game. One game,
Nichols.
And it was the Friday night special. St. Mary's hosting Nichols. Went there because St. Mary's coming off of a big win earlier in the week over St. Joe's, who was ranked number 1 at the time. Mary's knocks him off and did it fairly convincingly, led throughout. So let's see if Mary's is ready for the bright lights of Nichols and the league. And they led after one quarter. They led at halftime. It was the third quarter where the game got away from St. Mary's a little bit, and Trey Palfrey had 6 points for Nichols at halftime, put up 14 alone just in the third quarter, and that's when momentum very much swung in the favor of the Vikings. Mitch Masiello had a nice game for him on that one. Jonah Thompson, he can really shoot the ball. He's a problem, and it allows – he has so much range that you have to account for him. You can't – you can want to help on Trey, but if the guy that's covering Jonah Thompson is helping on Trey, Thompson's going to hurt you, and he's going to hurt you every time. Justin Benning had a nice game in that one for Nichols. Drew Bennett was unable to go. He was held out of the lineup. He normally starts for Nichols. He wasn't able to go, so do you know who started in his place?
The kid.
Yes. Correct. You remember from last week.
The kid.
Christian Archie. That's your freshman. He got the start.
Good for him.
Didn't get a lot of minutes, but he got the start. Justin Benning, I think, was the one that picked up most of the minutes and drew slack or in Drew's absence, and he had a nice game.
Okay.
So, hey, St. Mary's, they had a rematch the following Tuesday with Nichols, and it went similarly, maybe worse for St. Mary's in the rematch. So they're trying to get back on the winning track tonight against St. Francis in a rematch, and that is a game that they lost. It was tied in the more cartoons for Tim over here. He's still laughing. That's a game that St. Mary's lost in the final 30 seconds at St. Francis in round 1 over in Athol Springs. Tonight is the rematch in Lancaster. St. Mary's, St. Francis, great Monsignor Martin action, and we'll see how that one goes.
So that was just one game.
That was Friday night.
From last Friday night.
Yeah.
There were other games.
So I went home, drove home, did my turn the phone off and go home to watch more basketball trick. And when I got home, the game that I fired up was Akron Medina.
Yep.
Because that was a game I had originally looked at going before things changed and before I picked up the broadcast to do the Akron-Wilson game, which we did earlier in the week. But went home and watched that one because Medina had been undefeated before they lost to Wilson. Akron took their first loss, but we all know how good we think Akron is. Akron boat raced them. I'm glad I wasn't there live. You were there. Yeah. What were your thoughts on that, Tim? Boat race? Well, yeah. I accurately described a boat race.
I had a thought heading into that after watching Medina a week earlier that maybe Akron might be a little too tough down the middle and on along the boards. And obviously the reasons are right in your face. That was going to be a problem, I thought, for Medina. I don't know if they were going to be able to battle with the big guys that Akron has underneath. And then if it got into a shooting war, even though Medina does have some shooters, I thought Akron was just maybe a step ahead, but I was hoping for a real close game.
Well, they play twice, so the rematch will be in Medina. Yeah. We'll see if Medina can...
would really like to go do a game at Medina.
Shore that up, bridge the gap a little bit.
I would like to do a game at Medina before the season's over.
Take a good look at their schedule, figure out when you're going to make it happen. They'll welcome you in.
I like the smoke.
They got a nice space right in the middle for you to set up.
Thank you.
We'll see if they can make it any closer in round 2, but Akron was clearly separating.
Is my assessment off as an outside observer?
No, I think you're talking about the size of the middle for Akron. That's Darren Brooks all day, and Darren Brooks was huge in that game.
I just didn't think they had anyone to match up with that guy.
I thought Ben Gerstung played really well, too. He's, you're talking size for Akron. I think he's the second biggest starter, but he can play the guard position. He can play forward. He can do a little of everything. Speaking of Ben Gerstung.
He had a good week.
Yes, he did. He's now a 1,000-point scorer.
I actually thought he did that last year.
No, he did it this year.
Good for Ben.
Yep, I think he's a 4-year varsity player.
Okay.
Got his 1,000. Great family, great kid.
Yeah.
That he got his 1,000 in the Wilson-Akron game, and they lost that game, but they didn't stop the game when he got it. We were doing the broadcast, and Ryan was speculating, like, are they going to stop the game? And I said, I think because they're losing and because they're on the road, they're just gonna let it roll, and they did. And then at the end of the game,
ask us about that like a week before. Didn't you bring that up? Like, maybe you brought it up to me in private, but you had said, if you're about to break a record, do you stop the game if it happens to fall on an opposing team's floor? And I said, no. I don't think you do.
I mean, I've seen it done both ways.
It would have to be a spectacular once-in-a-lifetime record, like Cal Ripken. If he was to break the streak maybe somewhere else, maybe you celebrate that, a Mark McGwire home run on the road, maybe something that's been around for years. Wayne Gretzky, when Ovechkin breaks that, if that's on the road somewhere, I think you got to stop the game and honor that. But
all right, so here's my thoughts on that. I think most times when it happens, because I've seen it happen plenty, like let's say that Akron wanted to stop the game. I don't think that anyone at Wilson, including Coach Sipple, would have had an ounce of objection to it, because they've played against this kid for 4 years, and they respect the kid. They want to honor the accomplishment, and it's really not changing anything, right? It's a quick blip and pause to say, listen to what this young man did. I think it really falls on the team with the accomplishment. If I'm coming in and I'm on the road and I want them to stop the game, I'm definitely going to discuss it ahead of time and ask, would it be okay if we did a quick, just made a quick announcement, and I went out and handed him his ball and we took a picture, and then we'll get right back to the action. I think a lot of times the team that is about to have the accomplishment on the road decides coming in, maybe in Akron's case, we're not going to ask them to stop the game. We're just going to play it out. We'll do it at the end. If it was on their court, I'm sure they would have stopped the game.
Yep.
But I think it's the team that has the accomplishment is usually the one that they get to make the decision. I think it would be bad form for the home team to say, no, we're not stopping the game, to say, like I was there when Ja'Kai Rainey became the all-time leading scorer at Nichols, but he did it at St. Joe's. They stopped the game. It's the right thing. It might have been a game against St. Francis at St. Joe's. So.
The 1,000-point scorer happens every year.
Multiple times every year.
Becoming a school's all-time leading scorer is rare.
It is rare.
Sometimes takes 10, 20, 30 years some of these records hold up for.
Right.
I want to say Mike O'Brien's still the all-time leading scorer at Kilmore East, and I don't know if anyone will ever break that record. I don't know what the number is.
I was thinking about that this morning, the breaking the all-time, because I was thinking of it because I was looking at the Charlie Croft stuff, and I was remembering, gosh, it was just 4 years ago. He's a freshman, and I remember him and Justice Kleitz are these freshmen that they're just different than a lot of the freshmen. And fast forward 4 years, and they are both now the all-time leading scorers of their school, something they accomplished this year. I believe Harlan Brannon from Ken West.
1,000 a couple weeks ago.
He's got his 1,000. I think he's got a shot to become the school's all-time leading scorer soon. I know another one. I don't even want to put any pressure on anybody or put it out there right now, but I know another one that has a chance to do it this year. So, I mean, if there's 99 teams I'm covering and there's 4 new all-time leading scorers, I guess that's about how it would go in a year. I think every year you're going to see somebody become the all-time leading scorer of their school, or every other year, and you're going to see multiple thousands every year.
Akron will take time to honor Gerstung at the next home game.
They may.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They will.
I think they probably will.
100%.
You're right.
Whether it's before the game, I would imagine they do it before the game, but maybe they do it at halftime. Probably not at halftime, but they'll do it when the gym's filled, so he can get his proper recognition.
As they should.
As they should. And he's a kid that might have his jersey retired at the school someday. So.
Another game I wanted to watch on Friday, and I couldn't find it, so I had to just, because I'm looking and looking and looking, and finally I just gave up because it was, it was getting late, and I just wanted to know the score. And that was Orchard Park in Jamestown. Thought I was going to get to watch that, too. I was ready for a Friday night triple header.
That game was on WNY Athletics, NFHS Network.
Yeah, but I couldn't find it.
So once the game's completed,
I'm seeing right. Then they got
to be able to find it on our WNY YouTube page. Should go there almost right immediately. Should populate there. Should. NFHS though, you need a few hours for it. I think,
and that's a lousy feature of NFHS.
Yes,
is there? Wait till we publish it and then you can watch it
on demand immediately.
It should be. So NFHS, work it out. You're taking $11 out of our pockets every month or whatever.
You can't rewind it either,
which is a deal. I know you can.
In live,
and that's what they need to work out. Right? Take all that money and put it toward technology. NFHS. Thank you. They're national. This is not like they're just doing Western New York or just New York State.
Tim has a direct line.
You're too big time. Be better.
Tim has a direct line to NFHS Network. So Tim, we can take that. You can take that concern to them from Chad. Thank you. Moving on.
Warm them up with a joke that was making you laugh, and then ask them for the favor.
You want to see the size of the splinter in my hand?
I sent it to you.
All right.
The memes are crazy on X today.
Oh.
Sure. We'll come back and talk about Jamestown OP.
We need to. Saturday.
But Saturday morning was Global Concepts at Lancaster. Global Concepts walks in undefeated. It's my first look at Global this year. Global's got a basketball team. I will say that. It's Global and Wilson in Class C, and I think that is going to be your final. And if it's not your final, it's your semifinal because seedings didn't allow it to be your final. Global is deep, balanced. Jose Castro Jr., the point guard, he's a bit of a special talent. Eric Davis Jr. is a grinder, like an inside lunch bucket. He can shoot the three, but he just goes to work inside and outworks people. Outworks people on the boards. Doesn't miss his bunnies. They've got Josiah Clay. They've got Jaden Benefield, Juan Pagan. They've got multiple contributors, and the problem for Global is they ran into a team in Lancaster that also has multiple contributors who just happens to be a Class AAA team that plays on the regular against the big boys. And what you find out at a game like that is, okay, if Lancaster's the 20th best large school and Global's the 4th best small school, the 20th best large school turns out to be better than the 4th best small school in this case. And they were. Now it was on their home court, and it was a close game, but it was one that Lancaster had a healthy lead for much of it in until Global made it really close at the end. And credit to Global for doing that. But Carter Makowicz, I like watching him play. He's a nice player for Lancaster. Ryan Hartwig he's in his 3rd varsity season right now. One of the better point guards in Western New York. Probably an underrated point guard in Western New York.
When he gets hot, he's, tough.
Reminds me a little bit of Xander Fletcher from Niagara Wheatfield and the way that he plays the game. Ryan Smith is a talent for Lancaster, and these are all juniors, so this whole team is back next year.
Smith is a junior?
It's Ryan Smith's junior. Zach Harrington might be a sophomore or junior.
Okay.
Ben Budzinski, I don't know if he's a senior or not, but Ben Budzinski's another good player for Lancaster. But I was happy I went. It was a good basketball game, and I felt like I got to watch 2 good teams play ball. And it was an early enough game that I was back settled in for the Bills game.
And you, okay. All right. Monday and Tuesday, the Cats canceled stuff. You have a question. I need to get to you.
All right, fire it away.
Teddy's Tackle Box wants to know if you're going to the Newfane game.
Teddy's Tackle Box, huh?
That's his name online.
I like it. I think I might know where that's coming from.
Teddy.
I'm going to say I'm going to list myself as questionable.
Game time decision?
Question. So, yeah, it's the Wilson-Newfane rivalry game.
Okay.
There's a good chance that that's where I'll be tonight.
You saw round 1.
I did see round 1. And so what would draw me to that game? Well, Wilson's undefeated. Wilson beat Newfane in round 1, but it is a rivalry game. It's the district I went to school at and grew up at against the district I live in that my wife teaches in and my kids go to. Newfane has a 15-point victory over Akron, so they're more than a capable team. They just got clipped the other night by Medina by 2 points. But the Niagara Orleans League is no joke this season. That game that we watched when Newfane played Wilson in round 1, Newfane was up by 9 on Wilson at the end of the third quarter. So there's not much of a gap between these guys.
No.
So that's a tough one to pull yourself away from.
If I was going to
Quality question,
game
Tackle
tonight,
Box. Does that mean he's catching fish, Teddy?
If I was going to a game tonight, honestly, I would take a look maybe and help me out. Will South at Lockport?
So the Will South that game's being played at Star Point. That's part of a triple header at Star Point. It's the NFL ECIC Challenge.
So like NT and Ken East?
Star Point's hosting this year. 3 games tonight. Starts with Newport, Amherst.
Newport and Amherst, yep.
Followed by Will South, Lockport. And the nightcap of day 1 is Niagara Wheatfield taking on the host Star Point.
Okay.
So you got 3 games over there at Star Point. You've got the St. Francis St. Mary's game in Lancaster. You've got the Wilson-Newfane rivalry in Wilson. Those are probably your 3 top stops tonight.
Okay. Monsignor Martin, where would I go?
You go to St. Francis at St. Mary's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where you want to be if you're going to a Monsignor Martin game.
Before we come, why don't we take a quick break?
Or you could go to South Buffalo if you want to watch St. Joe's at Timon. You take your pick, really. I mean, a Friday night in South Buffalo's that's never a bad option.
If I go there, I should be able to have a conversation with the AD there.
Why not?
I don't know. He won't answer my call, text, smoke signals, anything.
I bet you he'd speak to you in person.
Probably, possibly, potentially. We'll see.
I bet if you sent him a text and said, "Hey, Matt, I'm coming over to cover the game tonight."
Michael loves Timon. He loves going there to watch games.
So do I.
So maybe. We'll see. Because I think Timon had struggled early. I think they're starting to get together and play as a team.
Yeah.
Like they're capable of. He's still very young, but I think I would not be shocked if Timon played a hell of a game tonight and that game came down to the last couple of possessions.
Why? Yeah. Don't be shocked about anything that happens this year. That's how close it all is.
We'll consider that. What time does that go? 7, 6? Look it up. I will. Let's take a quick break. Let's go have a word from our sponsors. You're watching the Centercourt Weekly here on WNY Athletics.
Need an electrician? Empire Electric is your residential wiring specialist. New builds, service upgrades, lighting, generators, you name it, Empire does it with hundreds of 5-star reviews that speak for themselves. Call Empire Electric today for your free estimate.
I choose this MOS because I like to work on things, have hands-on.
Tracker is very important to the Army because it's a very versatile and just modular platform. There's several different variants, and that allows this one vehicle to do several different missions, and it's very important to support just the light infantry and their mission.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
Or an efficient personal approach for all of your transportation.
I think this is a good promo.
More information about our
hey,
Buffalo office
we're on
is
tomorrow with
available
that
at
because it actually shows there's two schmoes sitting there talking.
Was that last week?
Yeah.
I'm wearing the same shirt.
Okay, well, so you know what I do? I literally go through and I look at the episodes to figure out how soon can I put this back in the rotation. So I knew to wear this blue because I wore it in episode 1. So by episode 7, it was ready to come back out again.
So when Chad's talking, if you can go to a single shot of Chad, he can stay in that spot, but in my spot on the other side, or maybe we could put like Empire Electric's logo or a couple logos up of advertisers.
Explore your next
something
idea.
What's happening?
No, I'm here. Just when one of us is
New
talking,
ways to do things.
you in particular, when it's just Chad
What
going
will
on,
you do next?
it's
At Richmond
we put
Bona,
Empire
we are
Electric and
seriously
maybe a couple other
dedicated
advertisers
to
up there.
bettering the communities that we serve.
Say, hey, this
If you
could be
put your trust in us and
Chad
hire
talks,
us,
then
we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Welcome back to the weekly edition of the Centercourt High School Basketball Show here on WNY Athletics with the lovely and talented Chad Andrews at Centercourt.
Episode 8.
Not sure where he's going tonight. Potentially Will North at Clarence. You haven't said no to that yet. We haven't even talked about it, but there's a potential.
So I haven't said no. So
Potential.
you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. I ran into an old buddy of mine who coaches at Will North, the JV squad there. He has a son who plays varsity. A 94 grad of Kenmore West, will remain nameless, but he is a good basketball mind. Very good basketball mind. Will North's in good shape.
They are in good shape.
If he's coaching
They got a nice team.
a JV squad, those kids they're going to be good.
Will North is going to
Well
be
coached.
good. They're good now. They're going to be good next year.
Will North is good right now.
Yeah, they're going to be good in 2 years.
What's the strength of that team, would you say? Defense, the ability to get rebounds, outside shooting, point guard play? Run through Will North for me.
All of the above.
Okay.
They play very good defense. They're a team with length, and the kind of length that not every team has.
Define that for the average basketball observer.
You've got a 6'5" sophomore in Evan Morphy, who is a tremendous volleyball talent, and I think that's his first sport, but he's a tremendous basketball player as well. 6'5" is 6'5".
Yeah.
6'5" with long arms and 6'5" with good focus. They have an excellent young point guard and Chris Fagnan, a sophomore, great at attacking from the left side, starting to finish more from the left side, which is nice to see. Grayson Gailey is their scorer. He's got a little length too. He's got to be at least 6'2", 6'3". Nice shooter, nice slasher, nice mid-ranger. Cal Rogers kind of plays the middle for him. And he's not as big as Morphy or Gailey, but he's strong.
Yeah.
And he's got that lunch bucket mentality in the way he plays the game.
Brock Lepsch.
And then you've got senior leader in A.J. Weisenberg, who he's just tough athlete, gamer.
He's very smart, cerebral player.
So,
But Cal Rogers is. Would you compare him size-wise to a guy like Brock Lepsch from Will?
I wouldn't compare anybody to Brock Lepsch.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Speaking of Brock Lepsch, those guys, I thank you for the scouting report on Will North. I appreciate that. Just in case I go to Clarence tonight. But I wanted to ask you about Wednesday night's game, which was supposed to be Tuesday, but the Kitties pushed it off to Wednesday. And I think we did that game. WNY Athletics did that game. You did that game.
Which game?
Akron and Wilson.
Great game. I was there, yeah.
Lepsch had three three-pointers.
He did.
He listens to the show. You said last week that he should
Shoot more
shoot the
threes.
ball. There you
yeah.
go. How many
Don't
threes
be afraid to shoot the ball. He's got a nice shot.
How many threes did he try for?
I think he was 3 for 3. He might have missed one. I think he missed one, but he was 3 for 4.
Okay.
See, that's the thing. Like the defense, they're not keyed on Brock Lepsch's 3-point shooting, and I don't think that there's an attention to close out on him as much when the ball comes to him on the perimeter, and he's noticed that or recognized that, and instead of moving the ball, which I think the defense is expecting him to do, he lets the shot go. And he doesn't gather it up either. He just lets it go, and it's a beautiful-looking shot. But watching Wilson on Wednesday night, what's starting to become apparent to me is how much leadership that Brock Lepsch provides for that team. I'm watching them in huddles, and he's a senior that you watch where he came from a couple years ago to where he is now. He's just always in the right spot. He's doing the right thing. He doesn't look for his scoring. He doesn't do anything he's not supposed to be doing. He's doing everything he needs to be doing. And great example for that team. It speaks to what Wilson is.
There was another big game on Wednesday night. Newport NT. You want to discuss that one at all?
I would just.
It was an overtime
I wasn't there. I would just. It's notable because NT beat Newport by 13 in round 1. The rematch goes the way of the Lancers. NT had a chance to win it in regulation and didn't. Game goes to overtime. Lancers pull it out in overtime. Graydon Barnwell scores 31 points in that one. Lancers are playing pretty good basketball right now. Yeah. Beating NT, that's a no-joke win. And it's going to be a tough game for those Wilson Lakemen coming up in the Centercourt Classic next week.
Sounds good. Now, Thursday night.
Hey, I want to go back to Wilson just for a second.
You do?
That game I covered with Ryan that we broadcast. Ryan Huff has to be mentioned for his play in that game. I think he had 19 points. Such an athlete. That's some scoring. That's definitely above his scoring average, the 19 he gave him. Had a beautiful left-handed dunk in transition, and it was defended, and he just went up through the defender and hammered it home. Then, at the other end in the second half, he takes an alley-oop and flushes it from Chase Martin on the break. And he's trailing, and Chase catches him in transition, sees he's got Huff trailing. Chase said that Huff gave him the little signal, and he sent it up. They've practiced at a practice, and Huff delivered. It was pretty awesome.
I will ask you then, do you consider that a statement win for Wilson?
All day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think they were maybe 7 games in a row they had lost to Akron.
Okay.
Coming into that, they needed it. Akron beat them 3 times by double figures last year. Akron's the defending league champ. Akron opened number 1 small school this year. And Wilson needed that. It's a statement to say we are really legitimate right now. It was huge in the regard that Akron already lost a game to Newfane, so now Akron has 2 league losses and Wilson has none, which gives Wilson a big leg up in the Niagara Orleans race. It's big in that regard. For Akron, look at it from the other side and say it's a game that was postponed. It's a game during exam week. It's on the road. They couldn't get officials down to do a JV game first, so there's no JV game. So you're walking into kind of that dead air shoot-around environment instead of the traditional way the game goes. And then at the end of the day, it's a close enough game at the end, and there was several 3-point shots missed in the closing minutes by Akron, and that game could have gone either way. Or it could have a little momentum could have caught for Akron and brought that game closer. But for Wilson, absolute statement victory. They are as good as advertised right now.
Statement game yesterday, or not a statement game. Correct that. Big game yesterday. Huge moment for Lockport basketball. You were there for it. Charlie Croft sets the record for basketball points scored, all-time leading scorer at Lockport. Why don't you take us through that moment for that young man?
I don't know if he came in eating
6 or something.
Yeah, 8 to tie, 9 to break it. I think that's what it was. got in the first quarter. I mean, he scored 8 points right off the top. Opens the game with a bucket, bangs a pair of threes. He's sitting on 8 points just like that. And then the defense tightens up. There's a lot of focus on Charlie. And it's at a moment where you know that the next basket's the record breaker. So every time Lockport comes in the offensive end, you've got your phone up. You're trying to record the possession. But then someone scores for what you feel, and you log in it, and then you get your phone back up. And of course, Charlie rips a steal and sails in for the basket as my phone's sitting on the desk. After I recorded about 5 or 6 or 7 possessions prior to that, without so I didn't get a video of the basket, but it was just a classic steal and score. He coasted in, got the bucket. They stopped the game. They brought out a commemorative jersey and a frame for him with a few pictures of him. Just a quick moment, and the place was chanting, Charlie. And that place was packed last night. So you know that Lockport knew what a special night it was, and that was good to see. It's good to see the city of Lockport come out and be so supportive of him. And his father was a great player there before. He takes the record from the great Willie Haynes, who anybody who's followed the NFL knows or has heard of Willie Haynes and what a great basketball player he was. So then after the game, they quickly got back to the action. Niagara Wheatfield actually gave Lockport a great game after that. Once all the dust settled, they got down to business and had the game tied up in the first half. In the second, in the closing minutes, it's a 2-point game in the final minute of the game, and Lockport pulls it out at the end. And then when the game's over, he disappears into an abyss of Lockport fans, and there was so much congratulations and hugs and time. And then the Lockport staff is like, okay, if we could just get you guys down on that end for your pictures because we need to clear the gym. And then he goes right down and got the pictures I sent to you, and he just did pictures upon pictures upon pictures with classmates, friends, former teammates, his cousins, his family. They made it special for him. Good.
Yeah, and we'll get to see him next weekend.
Yes.
Classic. Looking forward to that.
No, we won't. We won't.
Oh, sugar.
We saw him last year in the Classic.
That's right. Saw him last year in the Classic. Well, maybe I'll look for him. Anyways, maybe I'll go find him.
You know what? We will see him at the Classic because Charlie, get your ticket. Come out and support the Centercourt Classic.
Charlie, I'll get you.
You don't want to not see that basketball.
If Charlie shows up, Charlie, when you get there, just say this is on WNY Athletics.
That's right.
Can I do that for him?
Sure.
All right. I'll do that. Charlie, you got a ticket. It's
You're in.
Gardner.
Charlie's
Big
in.
Charlie Croft fan. Do you want to go back to the OP Jamestown game? Because I know you weren't done rattling things off. You had things on your mind about that game.
So I didn't get to watch it.
Okay.
But here's what we can say about that.
Farmer.
It's the third time now in the last 5 games that Orchard Park has beaten Jamestown, which is pretty significant because Jamestown seems to win that league every year for a long time. But I wanted to come back because last week on the show, we spent an extended segment, it felt like, talking about Orchard Park, and it was regarding a comment that came my way about, you've been undervaluing Orchard Park all year and, citing scrimmages and last year's results and a losing record by Niagara Falls. That was their case. And I took it to task, I think rightfully so, and looked into the camera and said, here's your chance tonight. Go down there and beat Jamestown, and you'll be rewarded accordingly. And that's exactly what they did. And they didn't just beat Jamestown. They beat them by 10 points on the road. They are now ranked in the top 10 ahead of Jamestown appropriately. But what I want to talk about was Chris Frankowski, the coach at OP. And they have a nice collection of seniors, of talent in general there, a deep team. And you can give all the credit to the players, which I'm sure Chris would, but you don't get your program to that point without a coach that helped build it. Because Orchard Park's one of the biggest districts in the section, and there's a bevy of talent there. Just ask Canisius, because a lot of Orchard Park talent ends up playing over at Canisius in any sport. But OP's been one of those programs, at least from the time I started, where you look and you say, I'm surprised they're not better than they are with all that they've got to pick from and the size of that school and whatnot. So Chris Frankowski gets hired as head coach. I believe his first season was 17 or 18. I know this is his 8th season as head coach. So I think his first season was probably 2019 by that measure. So if we say he's been coaching for 8 years, and we go back and say, look at the 8 years prior to Chris Frankowski's arrival. Orchard Park had 2 winning seasons in those 8 years. Since Frankowski has been there, 7 straight winning seasons. Buff State appearances. The 8 years before Frankowski became the head coach, 1 appearance at Buff State in 8 seasons. With Chris Frankowski as the head coach of Orchard Park, if we say they're getting there this season, which they are, that will be 6 appearances at Buff State in 8 seasons. The record of Orchard Park in those 8 years prior to him, 61 and 94. That's a 39 winning percentage. Under Frankowski, 108 and 43, 72%. So from 39 to 72%. And I wanted to just get into all that because I have a lot of respect for Chris. I have respect for what Chris has done, and I think that he reached the program at the right level, and he's in it for the right reasons, and he's got kids that stay there that maybe didn't, that might have bolted to go play somewhere else. They stay. They want to be part of that program. They come out for the team when they would have said, I'm not going to play basketball this year, even though I could. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to sit here and, last week and spend a segment taking a team to task, then you've got to turn around and do the same when they get the big win. And, the more I thought about it, I thought, I want to go and look because I think OP's been on the map for a while now. They're ranked in the top 10 right now. They were ranked in the top 10 last year. They were ranked in the top 10 a couple years ago when they had Seth Joba. At one point, they were the number 1 ranked team. So just wanted to lay all that info out. Make my case for the Chris Frankowski show.
That's a good case.
Thanks.
He also helps out with the football team.
Yes, he does.
He's a coach. Good guy. Supports high school basketball, high school sports in general, because I see him around at various venues and events, whether Orchard Park's involved or not. I see him around, so I know he cares.
Yes.
Good man. Actually, I think I'd see him just at Orchard Park stuff. Now that I say that, but that's okay. Where else would you rather be? You're in... where else would you rather be? Anyways, so that was your week, your teams. That's where you wanted to keep the focus on.
Yes.
For the most part of the show, but there's other things we need to talk about. I wanted to get into the rankings. I ask you that because when did you yes, you started in 2008, but when did you actually start ranking yourself?
So I started my website in 2011.
Okay.
And so since 2011, there's archives on the website, and you could go back to 2011 and find rankings for the last, what that would be, 16 seasons.
Okay, so you've been doing the Buffalo News for the better part of...
I'm voting on the Buffalo News probably since at least 2011 or before.
And there's another group that wants you to rank on their site now.
Yeah, and so now if you go on... the section basketball site, the high school sports stats, now they've started a coaches poll, and now I've been asked to vote on that too.
Are you going to?
I have. I've already voted on it a couple times. It's 2 weeks in already.
Do you like it? Is it the same? Is it not the same? Your votes are probably the same, right? Your rankings aren't going to change.
I think it's 5 coaches and myself voting on it, so it's not a huge polling.
I don't know
different
why
coaches on the small
voting on
school and the large school.
If the coach isn't seeing teams, why are they voting on it? I've never been a fan of coaches voting in season on anything that they're involved with because you're only focused on your team for the most part. I mean, you're obviously seeing film on your opponents.
Right.
But if you're playing in A-ball, how are you going to rank teams, even if they're in your area, playing in a different class? League or whatever.
It's a fair point. I think
I wouldn't do it.
I've heard whispers for years of coaches saying, well, why does he get to, why don't we have a say in this? That they maybe don't want the narrative to come from, he doesn't play, he doesn't XYZ. Why does the narrative get to come from him? We wanna have our own thing. So they've got their own thing, but they were nice enough to invite me into it.
Okay.
So yeah, I sent my vote in. The first week the poll came out, and I saw how it shook out and the collection of how the poll came together, and if 6 people are voting, these are the results of it. But then week 2 comes out, and you get to see it again, and you're looking at, I know what games happen because I know when I'm doing rankings, if I have Tapestry as the number 1 team, and then they win their games this week, I'm not going to drop them to number 2 unless the team I had number 2 did something absurd, to cause a leapfrog effect. But so I wrote this out. I noticed this. Ken West was ahead of Lew-Port in this new ranking that just came out.
Okay.
And Lew-Port just beat him on Friday. And then the coaches poll comes out, and Ken West is sitting there ahead of Lew-Port. South Park was ranked the week before, and then this week, not ranked. They didn't lose any games. But the 2 teams that came into the rankings were Lew-Port and Ken West. South Park was one of them that fell out. South Park was 4 spots behind McKinley last week when they were in the rankings. South Park beat McKinley by 9 this year. Now South Park's not even ranked. So, it's just, you pick up on little things like that, and you wonder, well, what's the logic? What's the logic to it? And so I just think if you're going to take the responsibility on to say, yeah, I'll be part of a poll, I'll vote, I'll whatever, then look at all the results. And here's what I'd like to see, which you'll never see it, but I put out my rankings every week, but you see what they are. They're my rankings, and I'm laying them out, and they're published week to week, and you've got to account for them. I would just love to see that in general. Like, you've got the technology, you've got the space on a website. You can show the aggregate number of the polling, right? Okay, 6 people voted. Here's the results of those votes, but here's how all the votes came in, right? Here's Coach K's top 10 small schools, and here's Coach Q's top 10 small schools, and here's, right? Wouldn't that be neat? Because now, if you're doing anything shady like saying, well, they beat us, but I know we're better than them, so I'm going to rank us ahead of them, or, I don't care if Lew-Port just beat Ken West, I'm putting Ken West in ahead. Like, you at least got to put that in print so everyone sees you did that. And then if they say, hey, Coach P, why'd you do that? Coach P can give his reason. Just
fair enough to me. So if you go to the website, I think it's to see those polls. It's like right there, right? As soon as you log onto the website.
If you know how to get to the
highschoolsportsstats.com, or just Google Section 6 boys basketball.
Yeah, you see it. If you're looking at the schedule, you'll see there's a big.
I'm looking at their polls. They got health number 1, and I think you have number 1. Health.
Oh, the other little ditty to that is they don't want any private schools in the polls. So you'll notice that it'll look much different, and you'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a public school poll.
Yeah, Section 6 would not want the Monsignor Martins there because Section 6 technically pays for the site.
Yeah. There's no, you won't see anything with the small schools that really is different because there are no private schools in the small school ranks. But like in my rankings, there's Nichols, Canisius, St. Joe's, St. Mary's. There's those 4 private schools for sure that are ranked in the top 10, and none of them are appearing on the section site, so it makes room for, I guess, 4 public schools.
Very good.
The type that you would see appearing in my expanded rankings, which we'll get to.
Okay, very good. Centercourt Classic matchups. You want
Tim? Did you got that? Can
historical post 7 years of record keeping?
No, not that. Yeah. Can we make the website pop up on the screen for everybody?
It's on the screen.
It is on the screen.
It's on your screen. Are we on delay with what I'm watching?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there's the screen. So. If you are on a laptop and you are on my website, that's what you're seeing, theviewfromcentercourt.com, and you notice up under Empire Electrician, there is that whole nav bar up there with all the different options, and those are all live links you can click. Centercourt Game of the Week, Centercourt History, the third one over, History of the Centercourt Classic. That is a new one I just added up there. That serves as like your miniature program of the Classic until you're there, and you get the QR code for the one when you're actually there with all the team rosters on it and such. But within that, there's a little write-up on how it all started with a big homage to Coach Gabe, who was the instrumental person in getting that up there. And then you'll see there's all sorts of records and fun facts and basically everything you'd keep from over the years, all the information you store from hosting an event. It's all available there. I'm going to tweet out a link to that when we're done. If you're looking on a phone, on an iPhone or an Android, and you go to my website, there is the little thing at the top, that the little menu bar. It's a menu bar. You just touch the menu bar, and that pulls up that nav bar that allows you access to History of the Centercourt Classic, Centercourt History, which takes you through all Centercourt teams that have ever existed, the coaches of the year, the sixth man of the year. That's how you find your schedule all the time up in that space.
Tim's doing a good job of
classifications. Yeah,
showing people the site.
Tim's the best.
He's doing a good job of that.
So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that was available and how to navigate said website, theviewfromcentercourt.com.
That's what we needed. Let's go to the top 20.
Bring it on home with top 20.
Let's go, Mofos. Top 20. We're getting into it right now. All right, here we go. Top 20, expanded top 20. Let's talk. Let's get the right terminology there. The expanded top 20.
The expanded top 20.
Brought to you by Chad Andrews.
It's not going to be the most thrilling segment. Why? Because of Mother Nature. She took all her games away, right? There just hasn't been enough results to really do a lot with moving teams around.
Not a fan of Mother Nature.
No,
in the least.
Not much has changed. So last week, coming in at number 20, it was the Lancaster Legends. Well, buckle up, folks, because this week, it's the Lancaster Legends. They beat Global Concepts. It's a good basketball team. They are number 20. Number 19, again this week, still Fredonia. One spot behind the team that beat them, number 18, Dunkirk, still sitting on the season with one loss. Both of those teams just one loss on the season. Number 17, team you were talking about, a team you might go see tonight, it's the Bishop Timon Tigers. They were supposed to play Randolph this week, but they had to postpone that game, so it looks like that's going to be later on. Hello there. Who's that waving to us?
Somebody.
Now he's coming in?
No, buddy. Evan Tringali's here.
We're live on the air. All right.
That's all right. Evan Tringali, David Adams, right? Yes. How's it going over there? It's going great. Awesome.
Number 16.
Thank you.
The Kenmore West Blue Devils. Ken West drops back a couple spots after taking that loss to Newport. Number 15, the McKinley Max.
Okay.
McKinley Max just picked up a nice non-league game next week. Can't wait for that.
Let's hear about it.
Chance to come soaring up in rankings. He took a game with Niagara Falls. McKinley, Niagara Falls. You don't get to see that often. I remember when they played at Buff State in 2000. Was it 2009? I think they played. McKinley got knocked up to AA for one season. Had to play Niagara Falls. I think it was 2009.
Is McKinley filling in for an opponent that had to drop out?
Falls needed a game. I can't remember all the... Oh, Falls lost their CBA game, I think. They were supposed to play CBA Albany, undefeated CBA Albany on Sunday, and Weather has taken that away. And Carlos was able to reach out to Coach Dorsey.
Good.
So Coach Bradbury, Coach Dorsey agreed to play a game over at Niagara Falls on Tuesday night.
Okay.
Number 14, it's the Newport Lancers. They got a couple nice wins this season. They opened up the year with a big win over Timon. They just knocked off NT the other night. They're going to get to take a big swing at a possibly undefeated Wilson team next weekend. Sitting at number 14. Number 13, it's the not St. Francis, it's South Park. It's the St.
It looks similar.
South Park Sparks. Number 12 is St. Francis. St. Francis slips back a spot after some unfavorable margins of games. Number 11, Sweet Home Panthers. They're knocking on the door of that top 10.
Getting closer.
They sure are.
Getting closer.
They also play Niagara Falls this season.
Yeah, a little later.
And I think it's at their place.
Sweet Home?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So next week is the Centercourt Classic. It's Friday and Saturday. You go on Centercourt 42 on X. You can find tickets. Go on the website. There's a post up there. You can click the Centercourt Classic history link that we told you about. There's a link for tickets through that. Lots of different ways to get your tickets. I would suggest you don't wait long on getting your tickets because once a session sells out, you don't get to watch the games. They're not going to be streamed. The Friday night session has a pair of Kenmore teams in it, which should encourage attendance. You've got Ken West in the opener, and you've got St. Joe's in the headliner. So a little local flair there. Ken West taking on Williamsville South night 1, followed by Orchard Park taking on St. Joe's. That's your first session. Day 2, love the day 2 matchups, starts with St. Mary's and Akron. That is a very good basketball game. I was in Akron last year when they played. I think it's an even better game this season. That starts day 2, followed by currently undefeated Wilson playing at home tonight against Newfane. If they can keep that record intact, they'll walk in undefeated, taking on the team that likes to spoil everyone's season, the Newport Lancers. Newport got them pretty good last year. I think the gap has narrowed significantly, and I think that's a very good basketball game. Game 3, Timon, Niagara Falls. Just hearing the two names makes me want to watch them play a game. Timon, Niagara Falls. Take a little pause, and then you come in for the night session on Saturday night, and it doesn't get much better than opening up with Health Sciences and Canisius. Again, just say those two names, Health Sciences is Canisius. Why wouldn't you want to be there to watch it? I was talking to one of the coaches of those two, one of those two teams. I was talking to a coach today, and you know what he said? I can't wait for next Saturday. And the nightcap of the Centercourt Classic, Jamestown and Nichols. So there it is. Don't miss it.
Is it a well-oiled machine now?
It is.
The Centercourt Classic, for the
It
most
is.
part. You're not pulling your hair out, last-second detail.
No, I say I'm always pulling my hair out because I care about it. You know, you want it to go well, and there's a lot of moving parts to it, but much credit goes to St. Joe's and their organization within it. Brian Ankin's tremendous. Dean Adams. Pat Veltri is a huge help. Rob Janish. Glenn Toohey. There's a lot of good people that do a lot to help me at St. Joe's. So I've got that. Empire Electric, Tony Martin Awards, even Adam March. I've got a lot of people that help make this thing what it is.
Are you
And then my
you
family.
more Yeah, your family plays a huge part. They do a great job supporting you in that. But are you more approachable now during the course of those 2 days than you might have been 5 years ago, 6 years ago? If things calm down where you can actually talk to people in between games, which you do like to do, but I know...
No. I mean, well, so a game ends, and you put
You gotta-
15 minutes on the clock. So there's 15 minutes ticking down.
Yeah.
And when there's 15 minutes to use the bathroom, to give the next two teams coming in their shirts, because every player's getting a shirt when they come in. That's when I give them their shirts. I'm also doing all of the public address for the event. So then I need to get starters for the next game, have that all buttoned up. It goes quick.
Okay.
It really does. So, and when one game ends, you're also going down and presenting game MVPs, with the Tony Martin Awards to one from each team. I tweet those pictures out. Then you run to the bathroom, give the shirts off, get the starting lineups for the next game. And mind you, all the way through, every time you're taking 2 steps, someone's stopping to try to talk to you.
Yes.
So those 15 minutes fly, and then the next game's on.
So if you're out there the next couple of days for the Centercourt Classic, please respect Chad and his time. He's a busy man.
Super big. I mean,
he loves
appreciate
seeing
the
you
support,
there.
and I love people, and I love
He's got a
talking
job
with
to do.
people.
He's got a job to
That's a taxing day in that regard. And then the same with like if everyone's calling me the day of the event or the day after to say whatever. It's a blur.
Well, best of luck to you guys. You're going to do a great job with it. I'll be there the 2 days as well. I could support you in any way. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be happy to help you, even if it's just to get the hell out of my face. I'm happy to do that too.
The great thing about it is just how much good basketball happens.
Oh, yeah.
There's 7 quality basketball games in a row, and it's late part of the regular season. The playoffs are right around the corner. Like, Buff State's, a month from now, Buff State games are happening. Buff State is live in a month. So playoffs are live in less than a month. That's how close it all is. The Centercourt, this is your last marquee regular season event. It's a good one. The matchups they are mint.
That's it. Centercourt Classic. You just watched Centercourt Weekly. He's Chad Andrews. I'm Frank Wolf. That's Tim Gardner producing. Empire Electric is our main sponsor here. If you want to get involved with the show or Centercourt Game of the Week,
who you got to go talk with now?
Send us a tweet or something.
Yeah.
We got a big call with somebody from a prestigious university in town.
That's right, Mr. Honnett.
Next year, September 4th and 5th, is the public versus private football kickoff classic in honor of Dick Gallagher. We have Bennett, St. Francis, Canisius Health Science, Lancaster, and McQuaid all playing. We need to find a venue for it, and we're talking to UB in about 30 seconds about hopefully hosting it there for a very low price.
Awesome.
No pressure, UB.
Awesome.
That's it. Thank you. We'll see you at the court and next week on Centercourt Weekly.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Adios.